potentially change at some point, or how would
Yeah,
we?
I would think they would, your mentor teacher will alert you to that. So, say you start in face to face and you get 2 weeks in and then something happens and they have to close. Or if they do, they won't close, but they'll have an alternate way to do learning, right? So you would just kind of fall in line and then do that virtual learning. And it could be that you'll have tutoring groups. It depends on where you're placed. So shutting down the school doesn't mean they're not going to operate. They're going to operate. You'll just be delivering instruction differently, right? So yeah, the school you'll probably hear about it before we do. But please do let us know. If we hear about it, we'll let you know. If you hear about it from your mentor teacher, do let us know, because you'll be the boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
Real quick, is the practicum 2 parts? So we spend time in the classroom and we also spend time with Kenisa, like doing the lesson planning and stuff? Or, yes. Okay. And do we know like when we'll meet with you?
As soon as I have a conversation with Laura about some of the background stuff that I need to get taken care of, I'll let you know. It'll be just once a week, as though it were, a regular class, and I'll get that set as soon as I can. And it'll be Zoom, and it's all the practicum. So if you're on this call right now and you're in a practicum, regardless of where you are, special education, early childhood, then you'll be with Megan, Beth, and me.
So one thing I want to share with you all is that, oh my gosh, Megan, that little puppy is so darn cute. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry. I get distracted by puppies.
This is my 5th Zoom of the day, and she's not having being closed up anymore. So I can't turn off my camera because I don't want to be distracting.
So cute.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, one thing I want to tell you all is that, there's times throughout your teaching career when you will be faced with difficulties, whether that's trying to continue to teach, after something like 9/11 or Sandy Hook, whether that's trying to figure out how to do daily health checks for things like a pandemic. Many of us who have taught for years had to do the H1N1 protocols. So one of the things that I want to say to you all is you are learning how to teach in one of the most challenging times. And if you can learn how to teach during a pandemic, there will be just about nothing you can't do. You are going to be well prepared. You're going to know so many different tools. You'll have the tools for face-to-face instruction. You'll have the tools for online. You'll have the tools for, building culture over technology. So you will have so many tools in your toolbox, and, you will have, it's going to be tough, no doubt about it. But I think on the other side of it, you're going to be going out in the field more prepared than lots of teachers are, because you will have learned a lot more just by nature of the pandemic. So I think that's something that I want to share with you. I also want one thing to be sure, as uncertain as the world is right now, and as uncertain as every school district is right now, and Ohio and all those things, one thing I want you to know you can count on is that we are going to be here for you. Your program directors, Harris and Kara, me, your professors, we're going to be here for you. So we never want you to suffer in silence, but especially now, you don't have time for suffering in silence. As soon as you have a question, as soon as you have a concern, send that email, send that text, and be, have some grace with us. Sometimes we might get back to you and say, we're working on it, or we're looking into it. But your success, your ability to go through this program and be successful in the classroom our commitment to that hasn't changed. And, even though we aren't in our offices, I've seen this group of school faculty and staff have worked incredibly long hours over the summer, and a lot of them when they're not even 12-month employees, just to be sure, just like any good educator would, just to be sure we're ready to meet this challenge with you and to make sure you get what you need. So you can count on us, okay? Yeah. Do I sometimes have Zoom issues? Yeah, that happened this morning, you know, but we're going to keep on going, right? You know, we're going to find our way to go through it. So I want you to know you can count on that. You know, even, you know, Megan, gosh, what a start to our School of Education faculty for you, Megan, right? You know, she was working long before that contract ever started. But she wanted to also be sure that she was a good part of our team and really ready for the challenge. I do have a little news I want to share with you. Some of you have worked with Carla Good, one of our amazing professional staff members in the School of Education. Carla is retiring today. So, you know, we're so happy for her. We're a little, you frequently hear people saying, Carla, up and down the offices of the School of Education. I think I still might yell it out every once in a while, because she's been with us for over a decade and she knows the ins and outs of things so much. But she has spent the summer teaching us, training us, handing over the reins, always saying, you sure you got this student? You sure you got this one? Okay, how about that? You know, she wants to make sure you all are very well taken care of. So, you know, you'll notice that if you email her, you will probably get forwarded to one of us. Just wanted you to know that she is retiring. We'll be celebrating her on Facebook a little bit today. So feel free to jump on and wish her well with us once we get that posted on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Excited for her.
I liken her to she could run a submarine, because if I had a dime, for every time she said, just want to put this on your radar. I want to put this on your radar. Now there's this student, put it on your radar. Just hysterical, right? We're going to miss her so much. She's done so much for the School of Education for so many years. Yeah. And now we've left kind of to absorb all the stuff she's done between advisees and duties and everything. So if you make an appointment and you come in my office and I'm laying on the floor just kind of not moving, it's because I've done something that Carla used to do that has just overwhelmed me. So just know that's why I'm laying on the floor that way. Just put that image up.
She has said we can call her. That's the good news. She's not going to reject our calls.
In the beginning, she won't reject our calls. But 2 years from now, I'm going to start my conversation with her by, hey, how have you been? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'll ask my question.
I have a question. Is there, I've been curious about, is there any update on Beth?
Thank you for asking. You know, your support and your guys' prayers and thoughts for her. She has commented on her Caring Bridge site numerous times about how much that has meant to her as she has gone through these very, very difficult treatments. And she did move home to Columbus over the summer months so that she could get treatment at the James, which is where her father had treatments. And so she and Henry spent the summer up there. They have moved back, but she's still going to be a patient in Columbus. So she won't be returning to the Mount. And yeah, it's so hard to watch a colleague go through such difficult times. So we pray for her. We think of her. We're in communication with her, you know, all of those types of things. But she has commented many times about how meaningful it was that students took the time to convey messages, or that, you know, we would share with her, you know, what a student said or a student group was thinking. And those kinds of things have certainly been so meaningful to her. So thank you for asking. And she still has the Caring Bridge site active. So if you need access to that, I don't have it right now, but you can certainly email us and we can send it to you. Or when you go to that Caring Bridge site, you can just search Van Wassenhove and her name will pop up. So she won't be back. We have been able to make sure that our classes are covered. Lucy Collier, who took over for some of her classes last semester. I don't know if any of you had her.
I did.
Okay, she has 32 years of experience in public education. She happens to be married to Harrison Collier. So she's going to be coming back. And
don't hold that against her, though. It just happened.
So a funny thing was, we were on a call the other night doing a Zoom session. We're doing these outreach to current educators. And so we had this whole Zoom session all about how to help parents during this time. And two of the people who were on the call, or one of the people who was on the call, who's a current teacher, texted me later and said, I think Mr. and Mrs. Collier were my teachers at Carthage. And indeed they had been. That's how, they were co-teachers together. But anyway, but Lucy.
35 years ago. 35 years ago, right?
Yeah.
1985, 86.
Wow.
Crazy.
Such a small world. So Lucy's going to help us this year with covering classes as well as creating modules for our lesson planning so that there's modules students can always visit for lesson planning. And she's going to be working with me on developing a math methods sequence that will also be deserving of the A+ rating from the National Council on Teacher Quality. So we will miss Beth greatly. We're going to miss Carla. We're really excited to be able to add Megan and to be able to add Lucy. And then we're also adding a couple people up at Reading Science for the development of the doctoral program. So you may hear their names here and there. But, the good news is our School of Education graduate programs and undergraduate programs have really, so far, weathered attendance or enrollment-wise the pandemic very well. That's allowed us to continue to make sure that we can still have the people we need to be able to make everything happen for you. So we're very relieved for that and very grateful for the university for allowing us to keep our new people and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, thank you for asking. That was really kind of you, and I'll certainly make sure she knows that you all were asking. What else is on your minds? Seems like you're doing pretty well. If you're anything like
I did have a question. So has there been any thoughts about student teaching for the spring, or that's just way too far off? Or are there any schools, like you had mentioned, Forest Hills, that are just saying no for the year, or is there any information?
As far as I know, the only talk has been that this semester they will not be taking anyone before. So things may change. If things get better, it could be that they'll open them up. I know that I heard in the meeting on Wednesday with CPS that a lot of the principals are clamoring for students to be in there, to be another set of hands helping, right? Which makes total sense. And yet, you've got CPS also saying, but we can't have all these people in here. We can't maintain social distancing. We're limiting the number of personnel and that kind of thing. So plans for we'll have student teaching. What it'll look like, it may look somewhat like right now, or maybe we'll just be in a much better situation and it'll be back to a semi-normal kind of thing. I'm hopeful that it'll be back to a much more normal situation, but
while we're hopeful, we also want to make sure that, we know that they need extra hands, but that doesn't mean you're in there just to run copies
right.
or that kind of thing. So
I meant instructionally or very materially, not just as something else, right? It has to be including you instructionally because that's where your power is, right?
You're not the lunchroom person.
I had a question.
I had a question about the practicum, regarding the practicum. So the 1 time per week Zoom, is that going to then be counting toward, is that one tool in which we're going to help reach our 50 hours? So is that counted within the 50 hours or is that in addition to?
That's an addition, because what we're going to be helping you with, learning how to do those lesson plans, the micro teaching, and understanding how to use those powerful tools. I mean, that's something that is just so imperative for you